Whoa, stop. You're meaning to tell me in my absence the warning has dropped another track for us to react to? What are we waiting for?
It's showtime.
What is going on, YouTube universe? My name is Zirra, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Zirra Reacts, the channel where we break down, interpret, and do whatever we have to do to videos on the internet. It has been a hot minute between reactions, I do apologise, but we are diving straight back in with another one fresh from the warning. And this album that they are going to be bringing out already has me sitting on a knife's edge, ready to go all in. Kerosene was nothing but high-octane fun. Ego was balls to the wall and absolutely filthy. And today, we're checking out another single from the upcoming album called Ritual. And if anything has been, preconceived in our minds about what this album is going to be, I am expecting this to be absolutely insane. Now, we can get one of two things here. We're either going to get something filthy, ballsy, gritty, something very bass driven, something incredibly heavy in way of tone, or we get something that's a little bit more soft, a little bit more somber, because we do get one of the two when it comes to these girls, and they like to give us that heavy and that fast-paced stuff, but they also like to pare things back and give us those powerful ballads. I don't know where Ritual is going to fall, because we're going into this completely blind, but that doesn't lower my hype levels in the slightest. I am so excited. Hope you guys are as well. You know what we got to do. We got to sit back, close our eyes, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. We got to make room to take everything in. I'm so keen. I hope you guys are ready to dive on in. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the warnings, Ritual. If I'm to play devil's advocate and I had a favorite, tone that I want to get out of this, I want to get something filthy and ballsy and heavy. I want something that matches the energy of Ego, because I am really loving the girls transitioning into this heavier kind of tone with their current run and their string of performances. We have seen them hit the pocket so many times with different genres and sounds, but I really feel they're pushing this heavier angle recently, and I'd love to see that again. But hey, if we get something soft and somber, I won't be upset about that. But let's dive on in. Let's check it out. Time to run it. We're getting heavy. We are getting heavy. That has me so excited. I was already fucking hyped to dive on in, but we're diving on in. We're getting heavy. This is going to be filthy as hell. We are witnessing an era with these girls that I don't think we are fully prepared for. I don't think anybody is ready for this heavy trip that these girls are about to take us on. They have delivered heavy before, but I feel, at least in tone, this is the heaviest they have ever been. And as somebody who considers himself as a connoisseur of heavy metal, this is right in the pocket for me. And visually as well, we can already see there's symbolism in potentially the girls playing the role of fallen angels. So this is definitely going to be, at least from already without hearing the lyrics, fallen angels. Obviously there's going to be something about potentially deceit, whether it's deceiving yourself, deceiving others. We know, for those of us from a biblical standpoint, where fallen angels kind of fall, if we're talking about particular people from down below, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so keen. We've got to run it back. We've got to run it back. People probably hate the fact that I pause to talk all the time, but hey, without doing this, it's not a true reaction, right? At least now we can prepare ourselves. This is going to be a ride. This is going to be a ride. And if these girls are the fallen angels bringing us metal, I am all for it. Okay, taking a beat to potentially decipher what we've already seen. I definitely feel this leans into mental health, the way of anxiety, depression, things like that. There's definitely also, especially through the lyrics, especially in that, in the chorus, we can decipher some notion of maybe, losing something good, or, you know, tendencies of self-sabotage, always seeing darkness in the light, you know, always seeing death in beauty. Pretty much almost like a deep-rooted anticipation that there's always going to be catastrophic change in your life. You know, even when life is going perfectly, anxiety convinces you otherwise. And as somebody who suffers from mental health and champions for mental health, I have that fall into the pocket for myself so incredibly hard. And it's just how the mind kind of perceives disaster during happy times. You always jump to worst conclusions. You already think and play out the worst kind of situations, even when there isn't any to be had, and it just forces that negative slant in life. I feel that's where we're going. I feel that's what the lyrics are trying to put across here. I could be completely wrong, but that's up for interpretation, and that's what the beauty of art is, being able to sit back and interpret things on our own. But instrumentally, so fucking good. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These girls are yet to put out a performance where I have categorically sat down and said, I don't like it. And there's not many bands that I've heard in my lifetime that I can attribute that to. These girls are one of them. Absolutely insane. Let's keep listening.
Ignoring my prescription, I found a new addiction. Now I'm not eating, and I'm not sleeping. My mind is playing fiction, a curse of my existence. Hyperfixation, no medication stops me from calling the dead. Light the candles on my bed, waiting for the world to end. It makes me wanna rip my hair off my head, 'cause I just see death and what is beautiful, plan all the funerals. Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual.
How filthy are we about to get?
I But I deprive myself like it's a ritual. But I deprive myself like it's a ritual.
Oh, my lord. Just line up to the plate and smack another home run, ladies. Holy shit. Absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely incredible. Did we expect anything else? I think every time now when it comes to the warning, we anticipate greatness. And even if we put them on a pedestal and, you know, expect high expectation, I always feel expectation is either met or exceeded. There is no in between. There is no less. This was incredible. And you tie this in with Kerosene and Ego, and this album is undoubtedly going to be the hardest album they have ever dropped. The heaviest, the ballsiest, the grittiest. And I am all for this particular era from these girls. Again, as we rip apart and interpret what just come forth, I definitely think we are still looking at anxiety, seeing the worst out of the best, you know, always seeing death in beauty. You know, it's such a poignant point to make, and I don't know where this sits on their own personal journey, whether this is an interpretation of their growth as a band, and while all this greatness is happening to them, they always anticipate that there is going to be some ugliness come through, that they're always jumping to the worst conclusions. That could very well be the case, but it definitely highlights how the mind anticipates disaster, you know, trapping yourself in this repetitive kind of abusive pattern of thought instead of just living in the moment and thriving and accepting. And it's such a great kind of complex to talk about, especially as somebody who, again, as I mentioned, suffers from mental health and finds myself often in situations like this. It's so easy to attribute that feeling to yourself when you've gone through it. And I feel everybody, at least in one point in their life, has always jumped to the wrong conclusion too early and can assimilate their own life with this. The whole ritual itself, I feel, is just the mental loop of overthinking. There was some powerful visual imagery through this as well, which attributes itself to that. If you're rooted in mythology or lore, the appearance of the barn owl, for example, is very big in Mexican folklore, in which the barn owl is a powerful symbol of you know, witchcraft and death, or the underworld, which ties this into such a dark kind of obsession, this dark ritual, which visualized with obviously what looked like sacrifice, and each of the girls standing over their own bodies. I don't know whether you can attribute that to maybe symbolism of feeling like they have to sacrifice a bit of themselves, which I think is a great way to think about it. They obviously fall as angels, but their wings are burning. So there's definite, you know, death and decay and deprivation happening to yourself, whether that's through self-sabotaging, through your mind, and just allowing the darkness to creep in just a little bit. It's definitely just all tied up into a neat little bow, and if you can explain it in the simplest of terms, it's just dealing with your anxiety and everything around it. And as artists, there would be exponential amount of anxiety these girls have to deal with, and we know that they like to pull from their own, you know, life experiences, so we can probably attribute those anxieties to things that they have, you know, gone through as a band, as women in a band, you know, and just everything that they've had to take on board with life. But then to be able to create something not just, you know, audibly moving, but visually moving as well. That video clip was striking as hell, and then having the horse running through on flames, and that can even be attributed to death as well with the 4 horsemen. So it's just so well put together. My hype levels are through the roof, and I cannot wait for this album to drop. Even though we have already sat down and listened to Kerosene, we've listened to Ego, we've now listened to Ritual. When this album drops, I am going to do a full album reaction and take everything in. Couldn't come any quicker. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are as well. If you did enjoy today's video, I would appreciate you hitting that like button down below. If you're a Warning fan, you're part of the Warning army, I do have plenty of other Warning reactions here to go check out, and I've got a plethora of other reactions you can check out too. But if you've got any recommendations for reactions you would like to see, the comment section is always open, so reach out and let me know. Do hit that subscribe button on the way out to join the community we are building, and hit that notification bell so when I do drop an upload, you guys get it straight away. I've sat down and have put together a bulk list of reactions, so they're going to be coming thick and thin, and I cannot wait to reveal each and every one of them to you all. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.